Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and much appreciated you guys checking out today's episode. And guys, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite summertime topwater lures, and that's like the buzz toad or this Zoom horny toad here. Soft plastic lure that you fish on the surface. It sort of gurgles the surface with these tails. Guys, these are great lures for fishing in the summertime of the year. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on rigging with them, type of areas they work in, and just a general good little seminar on it in today's video. Also, guys, for get started, a couple quick housekeeping tips. Just want to invite everybody, anyone interested in checking out my Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns. I'll put them in the link in the description. These are breakdowns of lakes across the country I built for Fish the Moment that are great resources to learn more about your favorite lake. If you got a lake you go to a lot or a lake you've never been to, really good resources. And also, guys, one quick thing, I'd like to invite everybody, I'll have a pair of, oh, here there. Please check out the Father's Day sale on my Solar Bat Series, Signature Series sunglasses. Right now, between now and Father's Day, you can get them at 30% off. And any purchase over $98, you get a free pair of Solar Bat safety glasses. So I'll put all those links in the description. Really appreciate that. Okay, guys, this has been a lure that's been out for a long time. This is my favorite here. This is the Zoom Horny Toad. I'll put this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description if you guys would like to pick some up along with the components to rig it with. But it's just a soft plastic frog, solid body frog. And it's got some real subtle tails on this thing that makes sort of a gurgling sound when you reel them across the surface. So first of all, I want to talk about how to rig it, and then I'm going to show you guys, how I like to reel it and that type of stuff. There's two different ways to fish the horny toad based upon the type of cover you're fishing. Now, if you're fishing heavy cover, where like you're throwing over lily pads or grass or something like that, you got to rig it weedless with an EWG style hook here. And the way that I come across here, just rig it like your Texas rigging. There's a downfall and an upside to this. I'll talk about it here in a second. And I usually like the heavier duty one, sort of the flipping hook, and just rig it like that. And another thing that will help you guys is sort of like wallow a hole out here. When you rig this thing in here, this is a hard piece of plastic. So stretch it out a little bit, wallow it out, and that way it'll, when those fish hit it, it'll collapse off of there a lot easier. So just spend some time doing that, because if not, it's almost like it's too weedless if you don't sort of loosen it up a little bit. So that's how I fish it for some type of heavy cover over grass. Now, my preferred way to fish it, and the way that I like to fish a horny toad, is more open water, sort of the same type of areas that you fish a buzzbait or any other type of topwater. And that is, I'll take a straight shank Gamakatsu G Finesse heavy cover worm hook, and I'm going to come in the bottom of the toad here, and I'm going to thread the toad on with the hook. This is by far the superior way to rig it, and it's going to have an exposed hook like this. Now, this is okay if you're fishing it around open water or the edge of grass beds or around objects like the side of a dock, and your hookups are going to be so much better. It's unbelievable how much better your hookups are going to be. And another thing with this, guys, when you throw it like this, sometimes it'll ride like that. Sometimes it'll flip over when you're reeling it like that. Don't worry about it, because they'll catch fish both ways. If one cast you make, it's like they flip up like that, and the next cast it's down like that. But either way, you're going to catch the fish on it, so don't worry about that. And most of the time, guys, I'm throwing this on 30 to 40 pound test Seaguar Smackdown braid line with a medium heavy action 7-foot rod like that. Mega Bass Perfect Pitch is one of my favorites. Okay, guys, let's talk about the type of areas that you want to fish this in now, what you want to look for. Now, this is a great summertime lure. There's something about the horny toad or any type of a buzz toad that works good in the summer around really shallow water. So, aquatic vegetation obviously is a big player with it. So anytime you have that, that's going to work really good. But one of the ways that I like to fish it is just targeting shade and shallow objects on a normal man-made reservoir without grass. So you guys hear me talking all the time about spawning perch in the summertime. This is a great type of a lure to cover water in those areas. So my favorite places to fish the horny toad in a lake that does not have grass in it, I'll go about halfway back in some coves, and I just start casting the bank, and I concentrate very heavily on shade, especially in the summertime. shade of a boat dock, shade of the bank as far as the angle the sun may be low, shade from an overhanging tree. Any type of shade pocket is going to be a key piece of cover. But you don't have to have it. It seems like to me this is sort of like another thing. It's like the cleaner the water, the less you have to have shade, because a lot of those fish in that clear water, they go up and cruise those banks looking for bluegills, and they'll bite it even if there's no shade whatsoever on it. Another thing with this is water clarity is pretty critical. I don't catch many fish on this horny toad if the water's dirty, so I like to have water visibility of at least 3 foot, or maybe 2.5. 2.5 feet or greater is perfect with that. It seems like that little bit cleaner water gives them a better visual on the bait, because the horny toad, it's a very subtle sound that it makes on the surface. You don't want to fish it if there's any chop on the water. It needs to be calm, and it makes a blip, 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 blip. It's a very subtle top water, and that's why it works so good in shallow water. Is a lot of times those bass are a little bit spooky in shallow water, so they don't want a big noisy honking bait like a buzz bait or a whopper plopper. They like something a little bit more subtle, and that's why that the horny toad works so good in the summertime of the year. But mainly, guys, it's just a good summer bait. I usually start fishing it in June, and I'll fish it up until September. Not saying it wouldn't work. You can catch fish on it anytime the water's over 60 degrees or so, but it works best for me in the middle of the summer. That's when I've had the best success on it. And normally, guys, I'll just use just a straight, medium slow retrieve. Just fish it fast enough to keep it on the surface. You don't have to twitch it or anything. Just reel it in consistently and cover water with it. So anyway, I hope it helps you guys catch some, and we'll check in later.